So the third myth, which is kind of what this workshop's all about, isn't it? Arguments are normal and healthy. And I remember my mum saying, it's a good idea to have a good blowout every so often. It makes it better. And my parents did a lot of arguing. I really don't think that all those blowouts made much of a difference to the amount of arguing they did. But they are normal. Pretty much everyone does it. That makes it normal. It doesn't make it good or helpful or clever. And they definitely aren't healthy. So what Mark and I've discovered is that disagreements are inevitable. We are not going to agree about everything all of the time. But the arguments are entirely optional. And I think he'll confirm that we've been together 4 years and we haven't argued once. So, and the really important thing to remember is that the health of your relationship is revealed by the way you navigate your disagreements. And that kind of goes back to the thing about communicating from a good feeling. Because when there's something you disagree about, if you approach it from a good feeling, which is kind of along the lines of, well, I want this to work. I want this relationship to work. I want it to stay, happy and healthy and connected and intimate. And I don't want to get in the way of that. And then communicate from that point of view. So one of the things that I discovered early on with Mark was that I kind of had this need to be right all the time. And in fact, I knew that before I ever met Mark, I'm going to be honest. And yeah, we all believe at times that I'm right and you're wrong. And whether that's how you should do the washing up, due to how you should raise the children, and whether or not you should move to another country. There's big things and little things in here. But it's not always clever to impose your point of view on your other half. And that's the first losing strategy, needing to be right. So what's more important to you? Being right or being loved? And besides which, there are 8 billion people in the world. We can't all of us be right all the time. So my third secret tool is around letting go of the need to be right. So there are going to be times when you realize that you and your other half do not agree. And you need to have some discernment about how important it is to be right in this particular situation. If you're pretty sure that the toaster's on fire downstairs, it's probably a good idea to convince your partner that the toaster's on fire downstairs so you can go and put the fire out. But if it's about something slightly less, life-threatening, then, sometimes you can just hold back and think, no, well, maybe I'm not right. Maybe I could listen. Maybe I might learn something new. When I stopped feeling that overwhelming need to be right all the time, I learned all sorts of stuff I didn't know before because I was paying attention and not trying to come up with my rebuttal. So that is my third secret tool. And before we finish this piece, there's my last exercise for you. So if you're someone who has to prove that you're right all the time, can you think of 3 things that you would be willing to concede to your partner? Where even if you're convinced you're right, you could actually entertain the possibility that they might have something. And you could just allow them to believe they are right at the very least without trying to convince them that they're wrong. And then take 30 seconds and write those down. And think about what would happen if you let your other half be right some of the time. And then share in the chat if you're happy.